This is Cappadocia. I am here in the Zelv Open Air Museum. The entrance is down there. I parked my car down there and started hiking up this incredible valley, as you can see, where there are caves carved out by humans who knows how long ago. For those who haven't seen my previous videos explaining the history here, then I will give a quick little synopsis. And so this region of Turkey, in central Turkey, the Cappadocian region, was occupied by humans for thousands of years. And as you can see, they lived in caves. Caves that perhaps were natural to begin with. I'm sure that there were some natural caves, and then they carved them out, and look at this, a huge room. And this looks like it might have been an altar. Absolutely incredible, these carvings on the wall. So this is a Christian symbol, I'm assuming. It is a cross. And so these look like tombs, graves. So I have no idea, especially with the altar there, but it must not have been a living space, but a worshiping space, I guess. And so as you saw there, Christian symbols. This area was occupied by Byzantine-era monks, Christians, around 1,000 years ago and a bit before that. However, they did not carve out the caves here. The caves were carved out long before that, and it is absolutely unknown. I was reading a sign at the beginning of the walk here, and even on the sign there it says they don't know when the caves were first carved out, when the human settlement first began in this area. And so there have been many different waves of history. This part of Turkey is on the Silk Road, and so there's been much human activity, trade, war, and different civilizations occupying this area at different times. So there's many different layers of the history here of different people using these caves, including up into the 20th century, because there were actually Greeks living here in the early 20th century. And in the 1920s, there was a exchange of minorities between Greece and Turkey. The Greeks that were living in Turkey were forced to go back to Greece. The Turks in Greece were forced to come here. There was an exchange. And at that time, then the Greeks left, but they had been living here, I guess, like a town of Greek people. This is actually one of the largest communities in Cappadocia, spread throughout 3 different valleys here. And so after the Greeks were forced out, then I guess Turks moved in here and continued to live here for another couple of decades. And then they left in the 50s because of erosion of the caves, and basically they became inhabitable, I guess. And look at that. This was a city. So I think that this is a mosque. So this is a trip. Look at the difference here. The more beige, orangish color here, and then the more gray here. It looks like this was one of the old caves, and they put a facade on the front of it to turn it into a mosque. All right, so yes, the only mosque in Zelv is partly hewn out of the rock and partly built using cut stones. Its mihrab is carved into the bedrock. Right opposite of the mosque is the square used by the villagers of Zelv until 1952. And so it sounds like this was built when the Turks moved in after the exchange of the Greeks in the 1920s. Excuse me, how do you say in Turkish? In Turkish name?
Gözleme.
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 Gözleme. Great. With spinach, potatoes and cheese inside. Kind of flaky. Very much like a tortilla. Really tasty. Cappadocia. So this is another site called Pasabag, a area of fairy chimneys that were occupied by monks.
Coming here.
Oh, she's waiting for the taxi.
Yes,
the woman
I
there.
called for you.
No, I don't. I have a rental car.
She's
The
waiting.
woman there is waiting for the taxi. Yes. I actually gave her a ride from the other place, which is just a mile down the road. Her taxi wasn't showing up, and so she asked me for a ride to Garamay, and I'm not going to Garamay, so gave her a ride here. Wow, this is just trinket mania. That is a wild woman there. Or maybe it's a guy with long hair. So this is one of the fairy chimneys, they're called, created by natural erosion. And out there, it is like a little garden of fairy chimneys, and they were carved out by monks during the Byzantine era and lived in by monks retreating from the world. You're double vlogging, huh?
Yeah, double vlogging.
What are you making your videos for?
Yeah, just for traveling and my in China we have a website called Bilibili.
Okay.
And all the teenager and young guys like to upload their video to that website.
I see. It's like a YouTube for China.
Yeah. You can say it's a
Kind of. They upload their own videos.
Yeah.
And so you will upload your videos to there.
Yes.
Right on. Have fun. Here's my rental car. I am on my way to go visit another site and saw this little village, barely even a village, but I just thought that I would show a little regular life here in Cappadocia. The very simple farming life. You see a lot of tractors around here. I can hear chickens chirping, and there were some roosters over here. Here we go. And chickens. Hey guys. And yet, even here, then you can see the old caves in the side of that cliff there. They're just everywhere, all throughout this area, for miles and miles. And everywhere you look, doors and windows of ancient caves. So if anyone is wondering about the distances that I've been driving between places, then from the first site, the Zelv cluster of caves, the cave community there, then from there to the other place was just a mile drive. And those places were just a 15-minute drive from Gabriel, the main kind of tourist town where I'm staying at the center of Cappadocia. And then this is just a mile from the other two sites that I was at before. And then I'm going to another site that is kind of around these mountains here, I think, and a 10 or 15-minute drive. Also yesterday, everything that I showed yesterday was very close to Gabriel, and so there is much to see in a small area here. However, there is also much to see beyond the central area. You can drive an hour this way, an hour that way, and there are sites, there are major like canyons, and there are hammams, like Turkish baths. There are more amazing landscapes with the fairy chimneys and other different types of strange and unique landscapes and different villages to explore. So this is a place you could seriously stay for weeks and just keep seeing new stuff every day. Looks like a mosque. You can see the speakers up there for blasting the muezzin. And this is a very sleepy village. Let's walk around. Merhaba. That is hello in Turkish. Chopping some firewood. Merhaba. And thank you in Turkish is teşekkür ederim. Those are the only words that I know. Merhaba is hello, and teşekkür ederim. I wonder if somebody actually lives in that place there. I think I'll not go up the stairs just in case somebody pokes their head out and says, "What are you doing?" More chickens. Storage space, it looks like. Or maybe these are turkeys. Yeah, those are turkeys. An old looking building there. Obviously older than this door, I'm guessing. This is like relatively modern, but not one of the ancient caves, of course. Maybe 20th century, 19th century. And I think someone probably lives here. Man, what a mess. Oh.
Okay.
Hello. Merhaba. So that's my rental car. And that is a parking area with a bunch of buses and tons of people all crowded around there and walking into the ferry chimneys. But right here, there is nobody. So get a little look at the ferry chimneys up close, the ones that I guess haven't been carved out into caves. We'll see if we see some evidence of human settlement here. This is not the site that I was intending to go to. It is still further down the road, but that is Cappadocia. Is you just drive and you don't even need to shoot for anything in particular, and you will find all these just absolutely incredible places to explore. Crazy. Now, as for things to be worried about, dangerous animals or anything like that, then there really isn't much as far as I know. I'm sure that there must be some scorpions around, maybe some snakes and spiders, but I haven't seen any of those, so there aren't very many. You definitely want to watch where you're walking in the grass, especially with sandals on like I have here. But there are no dangerous large animals that I'm aware of. Who knows, maybe there could be some kind of a wildcat. This seems like wildcat territory actually, but they are generally extremely rare, so if they're around, they are hiding. Look at that, just so surreal, absolute, out of this world. Looks like another planet. And just kind of perfect. The formations are almost artistic. This is the little town of Ortahisar. And here is Ortahisar Castle, or Kalesi in Turkish. Look at that. It is a natural rock formation with the caves carved into it. Merhaba. Huh? How are you? Do you speak English? Gabriel. Your name? Okay. Natural energy shop.
أشهد أن محمدًا رسول الله.
Espera começar, não tem que perguntar pra ela, mano.
أشهد أن محمدًا رسول
Since 1168. All right, I'm going to head back to Garamay where I'm staying and take take a break for the rest of the afternoon and then go find some good Turkish food. And this is a salad of some sort. I just kind of pointed at some stuff on the menu, so I don't exactly know what this is. It looks like maybe sun-dried tomatoes there. Anyway, it looks really good.